everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Crimes. We're super excited tonight because look who came back.
Yay.
Elaine finally made an appearance. I know she's not a mythical creature, y'all. She's for real. And look, so I told y'all Fridays are going to be a little different, and we're working on some things. Our studio isn't quite done yet. It's kind of a little bit of a surprise, but welcome to my living room. We had to improvise, okay? And let me tell you, it's been a day. So the drink tonight is going to be a strong one because I believe Anne's had a day, Elaine's had a day, and Nikki's had a day. We almost totaled a Nikki. So yeah, it's just
a comment already.
So the drink tonight is going to be a strong one.
Well, you have a comment real quick.
Of course we do. Look at there. He's like our number one super fan.
Hi, handsome.
We need to get him like a super fan t-shirt. Cocktails and
Crimes
right?
fan. Yeah.
Like a Cocktails and Crimes t-shirt. All right, guys. So on the real, I hope everybody has their drinks made up because I know we do. And tonight we're going to be having, I feel like it was appropriate to wrap up the Andreacchio case with what I feel to be an appropriate cocktail, an unrequited love. You know, there's a little bit of obsession and unrequited love going on around this case. So I crafted this little something. And for anybody that wants a small glass and not a big glass like us big girls here, it's very basic. 2 ounces of Jack Daniels, 2 ounces of cranberry juice, ½ ounce pineapple juice, ½ ounce orange juice, shaken, and then strained over ice and topped with ginger ale. And I'll tell you right now, I made a very large one because,
It was needed. It's much needed.
Absolutely.
It's a 3-day weekend.
And it is a 3-day weekend, y'all.
Yes.
So I'm super excited, and I'm super happy you're back. I'm
Glad to be back.
we missed you so much.
I missed y'all.
So, and we get to kind of bring her up to speed on everything with like the Christian Andreacchio case, which has been wild. This thing has been one roller coaster turn after another. Like it's been insane. So like tonight, kind of want to recap a little bit, kind of want to do some theories. And you know what? Like, I just really want to like wrap it up with like the ending of kind of like Culpable and the other podcast. And I also would like to acknowledge that Ray Andreacchio ended up suing like a number one fucking podcaster who's like, I call her the smear campaign. I can't stand her. I think she's a fucking cunt.
I know who you're talking about. Yep.
I'll call her out by name. I don't give 2 fucks. But
that's up to you, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I would just like to take a minute to acknowledge that this like woman went head to head with her in court and like won this whole lawsuit. And I think it's fucking amazing because the judgment came through and Ray Andreacchio shut that bitch up. And I love it. It makes me super excited.
Can we dive into that just for a minute? Like what did she sue her based on? What was the
it was a defamation suit. There was a lot of different things. And I actually pulled up at one point and I was reading like some of the stuff with it. And basically Ray just was like, you're not going to slander me. You're not going to make these like statements about me and my family and Christian. And like, so if you decide that you want to look up the lawsuit yourself, everybody, you can type in Ray Andreacchio and it will pull it up. But she was like told she had to appear in court. She refused. There are text messages where she's like, I won't go to Mississippi and deal with this. La, la, la. I'm not going to shut up. The judge was like, yeah, you are, bitch. Yeah. Yeah, fuck you are.
Good.
So I'm super excited for Ray Andreacchio, for the Andreacchio family, the huge case. It's kind of a huge breakthrough because it's almost like a sigh of relief that like there's a little bit of justice just for the talking shit aspect.
Right.
And then, there was the lawsuit with Jet Miller and Whitley Goodman. And they sued the Andreacchios. And, of course, as soon as they were to be deposed, they dropped the suit. They were sued for like $47 million. Like, that's a lot of meth, Whitley. It's a lot of meth.
Though, that whole particular group, like especially her, they were all about the money. That's all they were about, money.
Well, yeah, that's why they went to the bank to draw Christian's money to begin with.
Right. Even her relationship with Christian was all about money. She wanted him to support her party girl lifestyle while he went to work.
Well, he worked his ass off.
She really never loved him.
I mean, she drove around. Do you think that in any world whatsoever, a 21-year-old man's going to be okay with you driving around his Beamer or with another dude while he's at work? Like, the fuck?
Mm-mm.
I don't even drive a Beamer. I drive a Camaro. All right? Well, I did.
Right.
I did.
You did.
But I can see Grant at 21, me being like driving around, he's working offshore. And I can just see like people calling him and being like, this bitch got a whole dude in your car, bro.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Look at how that works out.
Not only that, like, I know we'll get into theories later, but that phone call in itself lends to my theory, but we'll go there later. But
we're definitely gonna wrap this one up with some theories because there's been a lot of questions that we've had, and I just want to reiterate though, like the main thing is being like,
we have a comment.
Hey, honey, it's my sister from another mister. You know what? Like we're still, regardless, Whitley and Dylan are obviously the prime suspects in this whole situation, along with Jet Miller. But I
think the whole group has something to lend to what really happened. The whole group knows something. Each one of them has a piece, of what happened.
Absolutely. They all had a hand in this. Everybody played a part in some way, whether it was the planning or the execution of it.
Oh, she says your hair looks great.
Aw. Thank you, honey. My hair's my nap hair. I woke up from a nap. Elaine actually came in and just like woke me up. I'm glad she did though, because I forgot to set an alarm.
Always screaming, "Don't shoot me!"
Right, like, and this is what you get. It's just I don't even know anymore. I look, after the day I've had, I'm just glad I haven't lost my hair.
Right.
So, what in the world? Matt Miller. How did Matt Miller get kicked out of this equation and then Jet Miller become the star of the show?
Yeah, that always perplexed me. Where Jet seemed in the beginning like he was really resistant to talk or give any information.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden he's like the fucking star of the show here.
Right. I don't.
I don't understand. Matt's the guy that she was riding around town with. Like how?
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden her cousin is the.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Just keeping it in the family.
But I always thought that Jet had more to say than he had more information than what he was giving up to anybody.
Oh, absolutely.
So he just was.
I've always said that though. I've always said there are so many things that are just off and they don't make sense. And this is called the whole case in the equation. Like, what was it? Matt was the one that said, Matt was like Whitley's side piece, right? So this is the dude you're riding around town in your boyfriend's car while he's offshore. All right. Mm-hmm. And then the cousin is like the one taking up for you. And now the cousin is the one suing with you.
Bizarre.
And Matt's like, I'm out, bro. I'm out. So like, even Matt Miller gives a statement and says, he's, Whitley's a compulsive liar. She's manipulative. She's sneaky. Like, bro, for a side piece, he was not a good one.
Right. Yeah,
like, that dude sold her out for like a corn chip.
Right.
I mean, seriously. But the thing is, I think all along she kind of knew that, but I think she was probably banging Jet the whole time anyways.
Mm-hmm. Now, there was a piece that I was really confused about. When Ray, his mom's friend, was kind of stalking out his apartment, she had seen somebody else come out. Who was that? Do we know who that is?
I think it was Jet Miller
Possibly.
or Zach
But I
Tab.
wonder, did that ever, was that ever actually researched? And, did anyone ever find out? Because that would be, I think, huge in
No,
this
and the
case.
thing is she did give a statement saying, I saw somebody come out of that apartment. And it was not.
Elaine
Look,
has a
Joni
comment.
says, so good to see your sweet self.
It's good to be here. Good
We're
to see you too, Joni.
so happy that Elaine's back.
Oh, we have the director from one of my shows. Hey, William. He's actually a director on our shows, all my shows. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, another comment. We're getting a lot of admirers. I think Friday's making us look better tonight. I don't know.
Right? Fridays, he's sucking up. I think he's trying to make me feel better because he knows I've cried off and on all day about my car.
Yeah.
Look, that car is like toxic. Okay, my relationship with that Camaro is like the relationship between Willie and Christian. It's toxic as fuck. Okay,
Oh, God.
it's probably time for a breakup, but we're just gonna hold on a little longer. Like,
I figured he was making up for the Halloween decorations that he said no to.
That too.
I heard of horses and such.
I just need 4. It's a 4 horseman. But we're gonna get them anyways. It doesn't matter. But I also, you know what though, since because this isn't gonna be like a hardcore tell this story. Everybody kind of knows we're wrapping up on it. I want to reiterate that this Hayes Mitchell guy that gets pulled into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we all talk about who the fuck he is?
Right.
He's
that
the
is one of the
DA's
things.
son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you wonder why it's a 40-minute investigation?
And we're sure
now let's put the name to the DA, because I think a lot of people that have listened to various podcasts as well as us know the DA's name. So what was his name?
Bilbo Mitchell.
Right. It's Bilbo. So I think most people will remember Bilbo because it's kind of a different name, but we have to remember that Hayes was his son when he's very much involved.
By the way, is drug into all of this and got named. I'm still not Camaro SS broke, grant warranty, true story. But see, you have to remember, okay, so Hayes, right? Hayes Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Remember this. I don't know if we touched on this, but I'm going to bring it up.
I don't think we
found
did.
this and I thought it was really interesting. So after Christian's death, right? Hayes Mitchell works on a tugboat as well, right? He was on the tugboat that he works on, and he decides to start running his mouth. And a guy on the boat that was from Delwood as well, that knew Christian, Hayes didn't know that yet, though. And Hayes was saying, shit that, it wasn't supposed to go down like that. And then the coworker was kind of, asking him questions. I mean, naturally, wouldn't you? If the guy that you're on a boat with and there's this murder case going on and all this shit, and then this dude's like, man, it wasn't supposed to go down like that.
What you mean it wasn't supposed to go down like that?
What do you know that ain't been told? So the coworker's like, all right, let's talk about it. So Hayes asks where he was from, and then the coworker was like, well, I'm from Delwood, which is where Christian's family, and all that. Hayes fucking sulks up and quits talking immediately. Well, I would too. If I had a hand in this shit, I just confessed to somebody who's from there that knows the person that I got involved in this situation with. I would shut the hell up too.
Absolutely.
And he just sulked up, quits talking. And now, of course, we all know we're never going to be able to get the rest of Hayes' story because now he's dead from a drug overdose. Seems like Whitley, Dylan, Jet, Hayes, there's some guilty conscience or something because there's a lot Can we roll that beautiful footage of Dylan Swearingen laid out for everybody just one time?
Let me see.
With his
Let me find that.
wonderful Facebook caption, because it just makes me warm and fuzzy inside. That's Dylan Swearingen, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Swearingen laid out, spread eagle, got the fentanyl going. But I like how his Facebook status says, God has been laying me out blessings like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I had to put those together.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Like,
that's a special piece of work right there.
Yeah, and Ray's also always said that, like,
what did she have that had like 5 million people?
That is a question of the questions. I believe
gold.
You know what I think it was? I think all of them thought they were going to get their hands on Christian's money. I think they all thought, I'll get a piece. I'm going to get a piece of ass. She'll go away. I'm going to ride around in this other dude's car. And, you know, like, being 20-something-year-old dudes, I guess they're not real picky about where they're sticking it.
Pretty much. Yep.
You know, I guess, like, maybe she was the only option for the Meridian, Mississippi area. We were talking about Meridian. I've seen things there.
I have too. It's kind of scary.
Right? Like, I have a friend, Mandy, lives there. And I will tell you, we've seen some things, bro. We've seen
I'm sure, yeah.
I don't know. Like, everybody was like, cars are replaceable. I know.
All right. You know what? We need to take a moment to talk about what Nikki's ordeal was, because I think we all got that message like, oh no.
So
what happened?
I went to the gas station and I was coming home and fucking deer ran out in front of me and I killed the biggest buck of my life with the most expensive bullet of my life. My poor Camaro. I can't open my driver's side door. So this morning, it's 7:15 this morning. I was crawling. Now, I'm a bigger girl, right? And I have really long legs. I'm fucking tall. All right. And the cockpit of this Camaro is very tiny. And at 7:15 this morning, I was
half asleep,
angrier than hell, crawling across the fucking console of my car to take my kid to school. But to make it even better, I had a drink in the center console, an energy drink from yesterday, and I kicked it into my seat. So I had to ride all the way to my kid's school with a wet ass.
Oh, no.
On top of, like, having to deal with insurance and crying over my car. Yeah. It's a whole thing. My car is just going to sit out there.
But Mandy's right. I mean, you are not replaceable, so I'm glad you're okay.
I know.
In all honesty, it's not that bad, though.
It doesn't look that bad. That's what's so crazy. Everything shifted, and it drove the quarter panel up into the door, and you can't open the door. I don't know what they're going to do. My insurance agent's like, oh, they're probably going to total it. It's going to be a total, blah, blah, blah. Now the adjuster's like, where do you want it repaired? So I don't know. We're going to figure it out. But as it stands right now, I'm at the mercy of Elaine. I have a chauffeur, a chaperone. I've always known I needed supervision.
It's kind of probably the best thing for you, though. A chaperone.
Right. I probably need one. I fucking need one. But
anyway,
you know,
while we're off topic real quick, I want to throw up our merch line real quick, if that's okay. So we'll just go quickly. We've got the Cocktails and Crime coffee mug. Now, viewers, all you have to do is screenshot that little QR code, pick up your phone. If you're watching this from your phone, you can screenshot it and it'll take you right to the store to get that. We have the cocktail glass itself.
I can't wait to get those.
Yep. And my all-time favorites, the next two are the Cocktails and Crime hoodies. There's multiple logos.
Yep.
There's multiple logos, so it's not as if you just have to stick to that particular logo. And there will be more to come. And I think all three of us will agree. This next one it's a must-have. So it is this Snuggle Up Cocktails and blanket. So Yeah.
I just want everybody to know for Christmas, they're all getting cocktails and crime.
I know, right? Okay. Everybody's getting
like merch. Your Christmas, like nobody better see me at Christmas list. You're getting cocktails and crimes merch.
I'm making socks too, guys. So beware, you're gonna get socks, cocktails and crime socks.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Kayla Jade will have a fit because that's all that girl. Have you ever seen a 17-year-old girl ask for socks for Christmas?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Kayla was like, I just want socks. And I was like, what else? I just want socks.
Oh, Mandy, I want a glass. All right, I'm going to throw that QR code back up there. And all you have to do is take a picture of it, and it'll take you to the store. If you're not going to buy right now, you can bookmark the store. I'm just showing some of the merch right now, but there's a whole, I mean, I've got pillows in there, aprons. What else did we remember? We talked about we threw in a bunch of stuff with the logos.
There's like a tote bag. There's all.
Tote bag.
There's some slides. Like
you guys, we got some slides in there, and maybe next episode I'll throw them. Grant wants some underwear. I think we can make that happen for you.
We're not doing matching underwear, Grant.
Wait. I think we can make that happen though. Cocktails and crime underwear.
We're gonna put all three of our faces on them.
Yes. Somehow I believe that he would probably still wear them.
He would.
Yeah, he would. So anyway, anybody watching tonight live, even though it's live, it stays up on YouTube, Facebook. You can go back to this at any time and click or take a picture of those, and it'll lead you to the store. Okay, I'm done doing my advertising for the show.
All right. Well, we've veered off topic. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
I'm still against the matching underwear idea. Yes, Grant, I am. Thank you for the comment.
Maybe, matching underwear and socks might be a thing, you know? Cute. Never know.
Don't help him out.
Okay. Moving back on into the case.
Now, I want to touch on the evidence that the Andreacchios found on their own. Okay, so you know this, all right? Let's do a little bit of recap. We're going to use, just for everybody that's watching and that doesn't know a little bit, what is your background?
I did autopsies for 8 years, worked for the state crime lab, the medical examiner's office.
Okay, so you would say, on an average, how many autopsies do you think that you sat in on or performed and had your hands in on?
I don't know, 10,000 or more. So
with that being said, you're also well aware of entry and exits and spatters and trajectories and all the different things with that nature. You're also aware of the fact that here we have things like Trauma Clean, Serve Pro that does crime scene cleanup or, things of that nature. Even if someone unalives themselves, we have companies that handle that specialize.
Quite a few people that own it.
Exactly. So explain to me why this family had to clean up they had to clean the crime scene themselves.
They didn't have to.
No, they did. They were given no options at all. And I mean, of course, they didn't know that Trauma Clean's a thing or Serve Pro is a thing that does this.
Honestly, I mean, I just feel like we know poor police work, and I think once this was all done and said, the law enforcement, medical examiner, everybody was just like, we're done with it. We don't want to talk about it because maybe everyone knows something's really wrong here, but no one's going to speak about it. So everybody just kind of left the poor family to clean it up themselves rather than to give them options.
You go in and you're having to deal with it. So not only is this family having to grieve the death of their loved one, regardless of because now they're in a situation we're being told, okay, he unalived himself. And then on top of that, now the brother, it's the brother's apartment, the brother and Christian live together. He has to go in and the family has to clean the crime scene themselves. They moved the body. That's all they did. Everything else was on them. So then the family finds evidence that doesn't line up with the story that they're being told. So the Andreacchios are like, this doesn't fucking make sense. So then they hire their own outside team. They end up hiring Dr. Jonathan Arden, who obviously is a well-known, one of the greatest pathologists in the fucking world. Okay, this man worked on the DC sniper case, the Washington DC anthrax case. He was the Washington DC medical examiner and forensic pathologist for years. And so he looks over everything and he's like, this was a murder. This was not a suicide. Yeah. There's no way this was a suicide. It's not even possible. And so he goes in and he explains in depth, obviously, that there were multiple points in the crime scene, that the way the body was placed and things of that nature, they do not align with the suicide theory. It's not possible. He didn't move himself.
Right.
Where was the original blood splatter at?
There was none.
She wasn't killed there.
Nope.
There was, coincidentally, there was no blood anywhere in the apartment other than in the bathtub where.
Well, the bathroom door. Remember the bathroom door?
That one spot on the bathroom door. But the crazy part of that whole thing is when the family ends up hiring Knox and Associates, they come in and do like this advanced luminol test, and guess what they find? The place has been cleaned. You can see like where the white, where. So the theory once again goes to this isn't a suicide. He didn't get up and clean the wall and the ceiling and all of this. He didn't do all of that. So I mean, like you have such a background in this. If someone were to use a 40 cal handgun, right temple, where would the bullet go?
Are they sitting up, standing up? What?
That's the thing.
In a bathtub?
Laid over a bathtub, like I can't even describe the angle. He was kind of like on his, like if he was giving a dog a bath. Like if you were leaned over a bathtub, giving like a baby or a dog a bath.
Is his head down?
Straight down.
Or just looking down?
Looking straight down.
Well, if he's going from the side, it should come out the other side and go to the wall.
Well, then why was the bullet in the middle of the bathtub?
All right. I don't know. I grabbed this image. We'll just show it once because I'm not sure who actually owns the rights to this one. But this kind of gives clarity into how he was sitting. Hang on just a second. I don't want to put this up too much because I did not get copyright approval, but it does give clarity. So that's the position in which he was in the tub.
Where was the gun?
On his left side.
Left thigh up against the tub.
But he shot himself with his right hand.
In his right side of his head. Right.
In the right side.
So just gonna take that down real quick now, but now you guys have clarity. And
you tell me, with your expertise and the knowledge that you have, make it make sense. Go ahead.
Don't make sense.
It cannot. There's no way to make that.
I mean, I know people that have obviously shot themselves in the face and the head and whatnot, and there's been some movements and they were able to do things, but even then, the gun still drops where it's at. You're not going to drop it on the opposite side of your body.
Right. And it's not going to get wedged between the tub and your thigh. So, yeah.
And if you're leaning over into the tub, it's going to fall into the tub. It's not going to fall. I mean, at worst case, it would fall on your right side outside of the tub. It depends on where it's at in relationship to how you're actually leaning into the tub.
Right.
But even then, I mean,
it's not possible. So, and that's the thing. Dr. Arden was like, there's no way. There's no possible way. Knox and Associates comes in. They run the luminol test. They do all these things. Now, mind you, the family has had to hire these people on their own.
Right.
Because they were dismissed. They were treated horribly by the chief of police in Meridian, who ended up getting fired for creating hostile work environments. If you Google the man, he does not have a good reputation. So this poor family is just like, come on now, like someone's got to give. So then this other detective comes in, Jay Arrington. Jay Arrington's quote, and I quoted 100%. This was 100% murder. He's the only person that's trying to help them. Yeah. The DA's office is like, stick it to him.
Right.
Okay. I wonder why. I fucking wonder why.
If there's the slightest bit of suspicion that your kid's involved with it, you're not going to be willing to.
And, you know, Dr. Arden says, he's quoted as, I've performed over 3,000 autopsies on my own. From the beginning, my reaction is something is wrong here. Okay. First was the gun. Christian's gun was a Kimber 45 caliber. Super, I mean, like there's no way. That thing's got some serious kick, right? He's right-handed, right side of the head, and it's found outside of the tub between him and the tub on the left side. That doesn't
right.
And the bullet ends up in the bathtub in the middle, but not through, even though it's a through and through. Even Dr. Arden's like, somebody put him there. This was staged. He was posed. This was staged.
Well,
also,
yeah.
Lane, you know this. How long does it take to set up advanced rigor?
Conditions, 30 minutes to an hour.
So advanced rigor would put 3 hours. Like good advanced rigor, 3 hours, right?
Was he in advanced? I think he was, right? He was in advanced, right?
Oh, he was in advanced rigor. So it means he'd been dead for over 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they said he'd only been dead 30 minutes when they called. But he was in advanced rigor.
Don't buy it.
Yeah.
Fluidity and rigor mortis tells.
I was with my mom for over half an hour, and there was no advanced rigor there.
Right.
And dead is dead.
Yep.
Don't matter how it happens.
Exactly.
That's fact. I mean 100%
the rigor mortis and you know all of that, it tells a story. It tells the story. But with the law enforcement being shut down that very day, get the hell out, this is done, it's suicide, no story was told because nobody got to see any of that. But I mean, now we know. It's just a matter of understanding why no one's doing anything about this. I mean,
and also on top of that, remember Dr. Arden also states in his statement that Christian was dead before Dylan ever went to the credit union. Okay. Now, in all of this stuff with Dylan going to the credit union and trying to draw out Christian's money, why on God's green earth would if I looked at Lane and said, here's my card, go to the bank and draw all my money, I would give her the PIN number to go draw out all of my money.
Heck yeah.
You didn't give him the PIN number.
Why would you not give? Yeah, no, you would give. If you wanted someone to use your card, you would give them the ability to use your card.
Like, I would be like, here, go get all of my money. Take all of my money. Here's my PIN number. No, we didn't do that. And the bank's like, dude, you can't draw out this guy's money.
Mm-mm.
Well, he told me to.
You just
Did he though?
It shows how ignorant, like the lack of intelligence there. I think any normal person would know you can't just walk into a bank and be like, hey, you want my friend's money? Like, it doesn't work that way.
I just want to, you know what?
I mean, I'm on my friend's account. I can go take out her money. Ain't much in there, but I can go do it.
But you're on it.
Yeah.
But if I tell you, here's my card, you can't just walk into Regions and they'd be like, well, she told you to. Well, here you go.
Yeah, right.
If that's the case, I'm going, y'all find me Trump's bank.
Right? No, we're best friends, me and Trump. I'm going to go get his money, you know? Right?
He's my bestie, bro.
Right? What are you talking about? He told me to.
That's my bestie.
Right? He just told me to. Right.
He told me I could take out
Ducklets and all.
He told me I could take out millions.
Right.
Right.
He said I could buy a yacht.
I feel like this was not planned really well. I mean, I think it was planned. The whole murder was planned, but not every detail of it, and just the low level intelligence. Like, let me just walk in and grab somebody's money, you know. So, but that's why it's so peculiar. As to why
I think that this was planned, but I think that these are the luckiest idiots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In the fucking world. I think that they're the luckiest drug heads in the world. Honest to God. I think they're so stupid.
I'm almost willing to say that they were probably trying to just rob him, and he wouldn't give up his codes. He wouldn't give up anything.
I agree with that. I had said to Nikki in one of the other episodes that it almost looked like he was murdered, like how do I say that? You know, where they line him up in the execution style. That's it. Like they executed him. They were probably.
That's why it didn't go as planned. It didn't happen the way it was supposed to.
Right. Exactly.
And the fact that between the whole setup, and we know now, we have confirmation, Dylan never went and left and went to Best Buy that second trip. With confirmation of that, Dylan never left. They were there cleaning up, and they needed a story and an excuse. He also continuously gave the wrong address, the wrong apartment complexes, the whole 9 yards. This is somebody who's from there, knows the area, and consistently gives the wrong. You knew you weren't over there. You knew where you were.
Right.
You'd been there hundreds of times. Bullshit.
Agreed.
If I am, let me tell you something. You and I both know, we all know, if you're calling 911 because you walked in on something that fucking traumatic, that 911 operator is your miracle worker. That is your that is your hope.
Your lifeline.
Your miracle worker. You're holding on to that 100%. And you're going to be like, I'm here, yada, yada, yada. You're not going to give him the wrong address over and over and over and over and over and over. And then be like, oh, I'm going to have to call you back. He hangs up and he's like, I'm going to call somebody. Like, I mean, and there he is trying to withdraw the money.
Just want to throw that up there. And it's funny. It almost appears like he's like, see, my friend texts me. See, I got the, you know, I don't know. Like he's trying to convince her to let him have some money there.
And she's like, no, dude, no.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a drug mentality, you know, get my fix anywhere I need to.
Yeah. And then you're talking, this happened in 2014, right? 3 years. You've gone through 2 chief of police, and then DuBose is replaced by Captain Jay Arrington. And Arrington is a 30-year veteran detective with the Meridian Police Department. And he says, I have no doubt, Christian's body was moved. This was staged. He died hours before that 911 call. And this is where it gets fucking weirder. Because this case is already fucked up, right? But Arrington goes to the DA, Cassie Coleman. This bitch is as useless as a screen door on a submarine. All right. He says, I would like to take this and take and change the charges to culpable negligence, manslaughter, and present it to a new grand jury. All right. Coleman agrees to, quote unquote, resubmit it if they have new evidence. All right. They did. They had the evidence that was needed. So Arrington writes the arrest warrants for Whitley and Dylan. Warrants are never fucking served. 2 arrest warrants are written. They're never served.
But why? That's the real question. Why?
Exactly. I want to know why. But then in October of 2017, the Mississippi State prosecutor presented the case to a grand jury. Okay, so we get the grand jury. We're going to present it. Arrington was never allowed to attend. Wasn't that part of the fucking grand jury?
It's strange, very strange.
He expressed multiple times, about confusion of this is the only time in his career in 30 years. He's a 30-year veteran.
He's never been allowed.
Yeah, like he's never ever in 30 years been like grand juries convened without a detective. Okay. So in 2017, a grand jury decided not to indict Whitley and Dillon. Well, how are you going to indict him whenever the detective wasn't allowed to appear at the grand jury and present
evidence?
Okay.
Right.
What did y'all do? Just like sit around in the room and serve him fucking sandwiches?
Maybe. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, it happens. So they said, no, there's not enough evidence. Well, of course there's no evidence. You didn't allow the man to present it.
Right. Absolutely.
So the jurors say that their decision is based on there wasn't sufficient evidence to prove one way or another to have reasonable doubt. And Cassie Coleman, adamant. Oh, it was a suicide. Absolutely a suicide. Ma'am, you're a fucking DA. You're not a detective.
Count go up.
Right? You're a DA. You're not a fucking detective. You're not a pathologist. You're a fucking attorney who gets paid by the state of Mississippi. So who else paid you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or what do they have on you?
Right. That's another possibility. What do they have on them?
She stated and quoted, I actually kept the quote. I thought it was quite interesting. Well, at this point, there's been further investigation by multiple agencies that has determined it to be a suicide. Ma'am, what agencies are you speaking with?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even MBI didn't really determine anything. I think they played that debunked
They've
name.
been blocked at every angle.
Right.
That was the whole thing. MBI was blocked at every angle as well. They wouldn't provide them sufficient stuff. They wouldn't.
But even what they did get a hold of, they kind of just debunked theories. They didn't really come to any conclusion about anything. So just weird. There was no actual agencies.
No.
Yeah.
And then, if this isn't enough for this poor family, if this isn't enough, if these people have not been through the ringer, okay, after Christian's death, you have a mom who's like, look, let's talk about the fact, I'm going to give Ray the utmost respect here. This is not a woman who has sat down and taken it laying down. This woman has gone to war with everyone. She has fought. She has not taken this shit, and she's still fighting to this day. She's like, this bullshit, and I'm not going to stand for it, right?
Yep.
But how about this? She is fighting to get justice for her son, and then wakes up to a whole new horror one day. Christian's autopsy photos are plastered all over the fucking internet.
Yep. There's a few still straggling around out there, and there's actually an actual photo of him slumped over the bathtub. I know I said in a few episodes ago I didn't feel comfortable posting those out of respect for the family. So that's why we went with like a animated version of him over the tub.
I would never do that.
Right.
So here's what's crazy. Okay, there is a freedom, everybody knows the Freedom of Information Act, right? However, I'm all about being able to access those things as an armchair detective, all right? But the Attorney General's office released these case files on a Freedom of Information Act release or on a request. These autopsy photos were shared and downloaded over 2,000 times.
No, because people are morbid. So,
the Andreacchios were actually able to find out that a man named Frank Wagner was the one who allegedly uploaded the photos originally. And he was kind of like this voice. He's a bully. This man's a fucking bully. He's like, oh, he killed himself, and I'm going to upload these photos and prove it. Sir, what you proved is you're a piece of shit.
Exactly.
You didn't prove that Christian killed himself by uploading a victim in their most vulnerable state from the crime scene to the autopsy. What family member wants to wake up and see their child's fucking autopsy photo?
Nevertheless,
even if it was suicide, right, even if it was murder, even if it was anything, nobody deserves to have to look at that.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Even if it was suicide, it's just not, it's regardless. That's wrong. So, yeah.
But these are now circulated all over Reddit. They're all over Facebook. They're everywhere.
Oh, I know. I found them. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Mm-hmm. And they're still out there, even though the Andreacchios have worked so hard to have them scrubbed. They're still out there. But you know what? Ray said, not today. We're not fucking doing this. So this woman, once again, pulls herself up, and now we're going to go to war again.
Yeah.
In the process of trying to get justice for her son. Now we got to fight this bullshit. So they file a lawsuit.
One heck of a woman.
She is. I'm going to tell you right now. I would hope and pray that if I were ever in that woman's shoes, and I hope that I never am. Let me tell you something. I would hope if I'm ever in her shoes, I've got the gumption and the just sheer tenacity and will, because this woman is a full-on badass.
Mm.
Like, superhero, real life superhero.
Yeah.
She is.
But you know what? Wagner says, I didn't do this. He denies the allegations. The Andreacchios file a lawsuit and they sue Frank Wagner. But he does admit to sharing the photos with his friends, and he claims, in his quote, anything that is obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request is public record. So the Culpable podcast announced that they were offering a $100,000 reward for new information about the case that led to a conviction. $50,000 was for new information, and the other $50,000 was for a conviction. So there are two petitions on the Culpable site to call for the U.S. Department to investigate the corruption in Meridian. And in November of 2019, the city council asked the DOJ to investigate how the city handled this case.
Sounds appropriate.
I fully believe so. Whitley wouldn't grant interviews until the 48-hour teams contacted her. So on 48 hours, she decided to grant an interview. It was,
I always wonder if that's maybe because there was money involved. She got paid.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
sure.
She wouldn't.
Well, Jet Miller gave quite an interview as well. They were all about giving that interview when 48 Hours came to town.
Well, because they're a big production, so it's money,
Of course. But what she did was just show herself for what she really is. You know what I mean? Like,
agreed.
She showed herself for her true colors, like nothing else. Y'all, I am so thirsty now. I've killed my cocktail. I needed another one, but I didn't want to get up and make it. So water it is. But yeah, so like Whitley, fucking Shitley, man. Fucking Shitley Goodman.
Yep.
She says, this is a quote. I have to quote this. This is, 2 weeks ago, it just came to me like out of nowhere. She had written a poem that she was going to read to the program. The title, Moist, by Whitley Goodman. I miss who I was, the person I once was allowed to be, before the anxiety, the pain, and the notoriety. Before your name was used in vain as the main source of my pain. Oh, it's been such a war. I guess it's me who we should hate. I'll be everyone's escape. Bitch! I'd like to throat punch this motherfucker.
Right.
And then Whitley decides to, begin her own crusade and hires an attorney and files a $47 million lawsuit against the Andreacchios, the Culpable Podcast, Black Mountain Media, Tenderfoot TV for defamation.
Spoke ill of her.
Oh, anybody. If little sweet Miss Betty down the street was like, I saw her riding around, name them in the lawsuit.
She would have sued her too. Yep.
Exactly. And so Bradley Clinton, her attorney, stated you can't torture people for the rest of their lives because they got accused of a crime. Their lawsuit also was aiming to have the Justice for Christian Facebook page taken down due to accusations that get posted on this public forum. What's a fucking public forum? It's freedom of speech. Eat my ass.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. Whitley's like, I was just so confused when I started getting blamed. Because, I'm so fucking innocent.
Innocent, my blood.
Yep.
Yeah, like, they were just so weak-minded. They took pride in hurting me without even asking me or confirming. They don't care what the truth is. They don't want anything to do with me. Now, let's talk about why they don't want anything to do with you. You remember that whole, vandalism of a picture in the Andreacchio's house because you were pissed off? Because you're a fucking 3-year-old with a tantrum? Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah.
I can't stand this bitch. The more I read about her, the more I just want to, throat punch her.
Right.
Just for fun. But you know what, though, to close out tonight later on, I really want a montage of charges.
I will be displaying
and mugshots,
like in a parade of Whitley. Yeah.
Yes.
I will be doing that. You tell me when, and I'm on it.
Give her 5 minutes of fame.
I'm going to give her 5 minutes of fame. Over here at Cocktails and Cops, we believe in your 5 minutes, baby.
Yep.
Good, bad, or indifferent. But you know what? I was taught that even bad publicity is good publicity.
True.
So we're going to give her 5 minutes for whatever fucking reason. But Willie was actually contacted on Facebook by Melissa McCarty of Crime Watch Daily. And she actually ended up engaging in a conversation. And she tells McCarty, I've never been named a suspect. The arrest warrants they claim are out there have never been activated. They're simply written up to shut Ray up. All Ray's done is publish lies, try to get money and attention from her own son's death. What money? What money? These people are literally fighting nonstop. You think Dr. Arden was free? You think Knox and Associates was free? No. What money are they getting?
Nope. Yeah, no.
And of course, she's like, well, if anything was up with the ballistics or the body positioning, I would be in jail. Christian died. No shit, bitch.
I feel like there was the one picture and the post that just kind of says it all, about her. We put that up there. Here's to never going back to Meridian. You'll never take me alive. 1 year after, I believe that he
1
passed.
year. Not even not even, like you're trying to feel sympathy. A year after the love of your life supposedly kills himself while you're barred out your brain asleep or not asleep. Or you can't keep your story straight. But yeah.
Right.
Don't ever take me alive. Okay.
Well, that kind of just is a powerful statement in itself, though, you'll never take me alive. Like, what are you running from? What are you running from? So.
Exactly. And then, she goes to say, there have never been active warrants for me and Dylan. If you publish that, it's false information. I'm sure it won't be the only false information you choose to publish. And her last comment to Melissa McCarty was, there's a special place in hell for people like you. I feel like that's pot meat kettle.
I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I, really, those are bold words. Those are fucking bold words.
I think that pot has a spout and a handle on it too.
It does. Now, despite, thinking that she's a victim, because she plays the victim card well, y'all. Todd made sure to make it known that there's only one life that's been destroyed, and that's Christian's, because he's not here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian's uncle Chris also has said that none of their actions are about vengeance. His family's all been like, we just want justice, whatever it may be. We want clarity. We want fucking answers. We want an equal opportunity to have justice and a fair investigation for this. That's all they ask for.
It's not too much to ask to put your baby to rest.
Yes, exactly. And he said Ray's doing everything she can to make sure Christian's story's told, and she is. Culpable came to be because she sent, I want to say it was her daughter or her niece, one of them, to Crime Con, and her daughter or niece, I can't remember which one it was, came back and was telling her about Podcast Ray. Ray had no idea about podcasts or anything. Culpable came to be because Ray was like, how much does it cost to start a podcast? How do I start a podcast? What do I do? So she calls, and this company gets her in touch with, these other people, and it just kind of spirals, and they call her, and they're like, we want to do a show about Christian, which in turn ended up being the first season of Culpable, which I think is super informative because they go so far in depth. They're a great podcast. That's where I really found an interest in this one. And then going through and listening to other podcasts, and I was like, I went into it, like I said, unbiased. And I tried to go into it and be like, okay, maybe he did. No. It didn't take 2 episodes for me to be like, yeah, okay, there's something weird here. And of course the Andreacchios are not the only people to ever lose a child. People lose children in car wrecks. People lose children in all kinds of ways. But at least there, the details.
Mm-hmm.
This woman doesn't. Like, what happened to your child. These people don't. And I don't care. Like Chris and everybody that's listening to this has said, nobody cares as long as it gets a fair trial. Period. Just give this family a fair shake.
I would think at the end of the day, mom, even if it was something bad that my child had done that got them killed, I would still want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly. Why does it matter? I would still want to know so that I would know myself for closure.
Right.
I want to heal. I want to put this to rest, and I want to be able to move on.
I don't want to have questions for the rest of my life. I mean, it's hard enough if somebody did actually die from suicide, because you do have all those questions. What was going through their head? Why did it happen? Why did they so choose? Why didn't they call?
What could I have done? Yeah.
Yeah. Could I have done anything different? Would I have noticed something? What changed in the last couple of months? But that's.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're looking at this situation where it's like they know that their child didn't, and now you're just being told to sit down, shut up, and accept whatever we tell you. You don't get an option.
I just hope that all of those that are involved, because there's a huge number of young people that were involved at the time. I hope one of them comes to their senses and just gives up all of the information.
I do too.
Regardless of what the consequences will be to you, it is in the best interest of everyone to just tell the truth.
Exactly.
Your own conscience eats you alive.
Right. And I know for a fact that they know, because I can't remember which ones, but there was at least 2 of them that said to reporter just interviews, you don't want to know, because what you will find out will be horrible. Do you remember that, Nikki? There was
yes.
somebody else, and I thought, why would you make?
Why would you say that? That statement in itself just threw us for such a loop.
So if this is a simple suicide, if somebody was depressed, upset, whatever, why would we find out anything else that's really awful? So just thinking those individuals, Jet, Matt, all those guys, Dylan, they all know more. They all know.
I believe, you know what? I honestly, wholeheartedly believe that whole day, the plan that didn't go as they expected, but I believe there were I believe Dylan picked him up. Obviously, we know that. But I believe that Dylan knew all along that Whitley and Jet were at that fucking apartment waiting on them to walk through the door. I believe that within no more than 10 minutes, maybe 20, of Christian getting in that door, he was dead. They spent their time cleaning up, Dylan going to Chick-fil-A as a cover, the bank, all these things to buy them time to scrub, clean, do all this bullshit, come up with a story, dispose of whatever they could, and to try to make a story. And I believe that because of the ties of the names that have been pulled into this, Hayes Mitchell, all of these people, and there have been, I will say this, allegedly, there was some inappropriateness between Whitley and a higher up that was involved in this.
I read that. I saw that.
Which would account for why the investigation was shut down.
I don't doubt it, but yeah, I did hear that, and I think that might be what they're talking about. Like, you don't want to know what you'll find out is not what you want to know. So there may have been a long time situation going on there. I mean, she was probably in and out of the bad way of life anyway, and might have encountered one of those higher officials at one time, and started.
Feels like she's almost bulletproof.
Absolutely. And I think if law enforcement or higher power doesn't step in and do something with this case, she will do it again.
I absolutely agree.
Do it again.
I have said that 100 times over, and I will stand on that. And I'm going to die on that hill.
Like Elaine said, she feels bulletproof.
Yeah, so she doesn't get away.
In my opinion, those higher ups are just as guilty.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
Just as guilty. If you allow her to get away with it once, and she does it again, you're even more guilty.
So we've hit the hour mark. So should we do our theories? Everybody do their theories?
I think we should definitely. I do want to say, though, that because Ray, I do want to reiterate this because I love this woman. I have so much respect for her. I would love to say that, we now have, because of all the things that this poor family's been through, I would love to say that we now have Christian's law. It is only in Mississippi, but we do have Christian's law. It is named Christian's law. This woman went to hell and back.
So what is that law for the viewers? What exactly is that law?
Christian's law states that autopsy photos can only be released with permission and consent of the family, and if they are shared or uploaded or anything in this situation, it's a felony. So, you know what? Not only are they fighting for justice for their child, but this woman went to bat for every family in the future who could unfortunately be in this situation. And you know what? I think it shows the character of the Andreacchios, because really and truly, let's be real, Christians were already out there. They were already online. They could have taken it laying down, but they made sure they protected other victims in the future and other families in the future. And I commend Ray 100% for that. I think it's amazing. I think that the senators and all the people that helped pass that and to push that bill truly are commendable in this whole thing. And I just want to give a shout out to Ray on that, because you know what? The woman has not taken any of this laying down, and I hope and pray that she stays.
She didn't let her son's death go in vain.
No,
She did not.
She didn't. But you know what? Now, because this is the end, and we are going to wrap up on the Andreacchio case, and it has been a long ride, and it's been a wild ride. But theory-wise, I think everybody has.
Let's do the parade of mugshots before.
Oh yes,
yes.
Really, now we have this one.
And you know what? They're all just.
There we go. Lovely Whitley. Lovely Shitley.
Oh, Shitley. Look at there.
There's another one. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. So, and then
drugs.
Found this one.
Oh,
drugs are bad, kids. Drugs are bad.
Yeah. Just saying. She's a walking advertisement for this is your brain on drugs.
Right, pretty much, yeah.
I'm telling you. And these are all public, so come for me, bitch.
Right. No, she can't do nothing. Yeah, we found it on the internet. So I think most crime in the United States is public record. So
and you also have Jet Miller's as well.
Let me see. Where's it at?
He looks like he's 50.
I don't think I have that in here anymore. I don't have it in here anymore. I'll have to search for that real quick. But let's move on to the theories, and then I'll look for it real quick.
So I think we all have a theory, or we all have everybody kind of has a different. Because, like you said in one show, every time we come up with a theory, we can debunk a theory.
Right. It kind of comes back. I think for me, though, and I think you agreed to, my theory on who pulled the trigger, I believe it was Whitley. I think she pulled the trigger.
I said that. That's why she was so adamant to be like, oh, I'm going to test positive. So I went to gun night.
Mm-hmm. Because she pulled the trigger. So
absolutely.
I think she was fighting
with him and had the gun in his head. I think that two of the guys attacked him and held him down. I think they pistol whipped him, and I think she pulled the fucking trigger.
And that would explain the bruise he had. What was it, on the bridge of his nose? So yeah.
He had one on the bridge of his nose and also a spot in the back of his head.
Right. So hitting, somebody pistol whipping him a couple times.
Exactly. So I think it's safe to say in that situation, I really think it is safe to say he was attacked when he walked through the door, is what I think.
I agreed. I've always agreed with that theory. I don't think that he ever had an opportunity to defend himself in any way.
I don't either. I think that he was I think, I've looked at all the different options, and I really think that the way it all happened, I think that Dylan and Whitley planned this whole, I'm going to call Christian, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to get his money, and they planned to have him come off that boat. I think all along they knew that if they called him consistently and they said, she's out doing this or she's out doing, there was a reason why they wanted him to come home. And they wanted him to come home.
Right. And again, with the phone call, I see Whitley driving around in your car. They already knew the situation was heated. I know there was back and forth. People were saying he had either kicked her out or he hadn't kicked her out. But if you go with the thought of he had kicked her out and then she's back in his house with his car and another guy, they knew that would get him so heated he would run home to handle that. So
exactly.
That's where I think that's my theory, is that they planned it.
I think so. I think that they always knew. Now, the money thing, I think that they owed. So I've thought long and hard. If you owe your drug dealer or your dope or whatever, you owe them money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh fuck, how am I gonna pay? There's some threats, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that this is like Pablo Escobar and El Chapo type shit, but you owe the local little fucking whatever gangbanger drug boy some fucking money, and you're like, they won't give me another fix. and get some money out of Christian. And,
Exactly.
you know, you think this was before we had like Cash App and Venmo
Right, 2014.
and shit.
Yeah,
So
we
you
didn't
could,
have a
I mean,
lot
you
of
could
that.
like PayPal money back and forth. But let's be honest, I don't really think that old Shitley and them were smart enough to use fucking PayPal, right?
Probably not.
So truthfully, they probably owed somebody money. They needed a fix. We already know that she'd done, you know, taken drug tests and tested positive for multiple different things. So she was like fiending, and they were like, okay, well, I'll get money. I'll pay you tomorrow. And they're going to come up with this plan, because why would you plan, like, you know, she's already told Matt Miller he's kicking me out. She told him that before Christian was even home.
Yep.
So I think that, you know, it all came down to, she thought they would get some money out of him. She would be able to sweet talk him into staying with her. She would get access. But that also goes back to the theory with I want you to make me the beneficiary on your life insurance, because who's going to take care of me and the baby? Which, by the way, the baby didn't fucking exist. So
there was no baby. Yeah, no baby.
And he didn't. That's the one thing. Christian never changed his beneficiary. So I bet at the end of the day, when she found out she wasn't getting that money, I bet they was mad as shit.
Well, that would make sense as to why she tried to sue for millions of dollars. She just all about money. So I found that mugshot that you were looking for. Let's see.
Yes. Now remember, this guy is younger than me. I bet if he knew he was going to live that long, he'd take better care of himself.
You think? He looks pretty old.
Because that dude looks like he'd been real hard put up wet.
What was his full name? I don't remember that.
Is it on there? It should be on there.
No.
But that is Jet Miller for everybody that's
yeah.
I
just wondered if we had a middle name for him. So
I don't know his middle name. I'm sure we could find it if we like.
Yeah. I was just curious.
But you know, we know that Dylan never left and went to Best Buy. We know cell phone times, pings, all these different things. And it all correlates to, I think that Whitley told them, hey, look, I'm the beneficiary on this fucking life insurance. And I want my money, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean,
money.
At the end of the day, we know that she was out for money. I mean, she tried in multiple different ways. I'm pregnant. You got to put me on your life insurance. You know, we only know those facts. What actually occurred in the relationship where she's like making excuses daily. Babe, I need your ATM card. Babe, can you send me this money? Can I get some cash? We don't know what was going on inside there. But I do remember, I think the family had indicated before he died that they felt strongly she was there for his money.
So, well, I mean, and one, they were talking about trips to like Ulta.
Right.
She was buying her makeup, getting off work and taking her to Ulta and spending $100. She's driving a fucking Beamer. She's 17, 18 years old. She's rocking the Beamer.
We got a comment there.
You know, she's got, hey, honey bunny. That's my panda bear. But, you know, she's driving around. She came from shit, okay? This girl came from nothing, right?
Yeah. I guess it's all.
You're living it up. You got a man that's got a good job, got nice
There's nothing wrong with your man, your boyfriend, your husband buying you things, makeup, taking you and spoiling you. But when it becomes excessive and that's all she was about, that's where he should have listened to his family.
Exactly. And, you know, she was pushing for like this whole getting married. There's a lot there. This family had to endure with this bitch being in his life to begin with. We'll do. We'll definitely come to the track. Absolutely. We got to get a cocktails and crime sticker on his car, by the way.
Oh my God. They're in the store, the online shop. So we'll have
He
to
said
get
he would totally rock
them.
them. So.
Stick them on the That'd be cool.
But no, I definitely, and I don't know if they actually plan to murder Christian. I've bounced around on that idea. I don't know if they plan to murder him. I don't know if they plan to rob him. There's a list of different things.
I believe firmly they plan to murder him. I do.
That's the scenario that
sticks
for the
insurance money.
Yeah.
Yep. She believed she was the beneficiary. She did not know that she wasn't. So I believe
coincidentally the person, I think it's not funny. Okay, like there's nothing funny about this case.
No.
The comical aspect to me is the fact that the picture that she vandalized of his ex Avery in the Andreacchio's home when they opened their home to her. Coincidentally, Avery was the one. Ray and Avery were the beneficiaries on his fucking life insurance.
Right.
So there's like a little smidge there that's just like suck that.
It's irony at its best and karma because, she mutilated a picture of Christian and his ex-girlfriend, who in turn was one of the beneficiaries in his death. So karma won that round.
The lie, and it goes back to the lying about his phone, lying about the key to the Beamer. All the different lies that she told at the police department after it happened, not keeping their story straight. But then the guy that says, so there's a guy that's on, like, he's a lifer. He's in prison. He comes forward. He's not trying to get time off. He's not trying to get time served. He's not trying to get out of jail. He comes forward and he says, hey, this guy was in my cell with me. Dylan Swearingen, right? This guy was in the cell with me, and he was like, yeah, man, we killed this guy, and we were supposed to get money, and we fucked up. We didn't get the money. Like, dude comes forward and tells you, and you still, we don't have anything. So I think that the theory that they plan to murder, yes. I honestly believe that there were 4 people in that apartment that day. Christian just being the unlucky short straw in the situation.
Right.
But I wholeheartedly believe. Now, I will say I have a hard time buying because Matt Miller has removed himself out of this situation and been like, nah, bitch, you ain't dragging me through some mud. Right. I don't think that Matt Miller had anything to do with this. I believe that Jet Miller did. I believe Jet was in the apartment.
I do too, 100%, because just so much in his statements over the years, like Matt's statements really never changed, but Jet's something changed along the way.
The stories constantly changed. So, I mean, it goes back for me, just like the theory for me is that Christian died within 20 minutes, 30 minutes being at that house. Everything was a ruse. Everything was a way to clean up, cover up. And I really just think these are the smartest, ignorant motherfuckers ever. They're just lucky. They're not smart. They're stupid, but they're fucking lucky.
That's like I said, unintelligence. You can see like the just lesser intelligence. I mean, anybody, I think, with a little bit of common sense knows that you cannot walk into a bank and say, hey, I want my friend's money. It's common sense.
The fact that I've never walked to the bank and been like, give me my friend's money. Ever, right. By the way.
I mean, I do think they planned to kill him. I do think they planned to murder, but I believe 100% that it was the designs of those that have lesser intelligence. So that's how it went.
True story. But you know what? I think that we can all collectively say, I'd like to put a picture of Christian up. We've shown all the nasty, but really and truly, this is, at the end of the day, we're talking about an innocent kid, 21 years old. He's a kid. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care how you place it. 21, you're still a kid. So it's an innocent kid who lost his life in a really fucked up way. And, this case has been a lot of things. It's been a roller coaster. We've gone down some rabbit holes, and we've really honestly spent so much time. I feel like I know this family because I've spent so much time reading and researching. I feel like I know their whole life, And I think we all kind of do that with every case. Honestly, I think that
we do. We get invested, so can't help it.
I know, like with this one and with every case that we've done, there's almost like a personal investment and a personal like connection to the case. And I don't know. I really, my heart goes out to the Andreacchios. No matter what, will always say that, justice for Christian is the number one goal here. We talk shit about Whitley all day long, but really this is the goal. And I'm glad to have done this case. I'm glad that we've come this far with it. I'm almost sad to see this part of our show come to a close, but on the other side of it, like, I'm ready to move on and be like, okay, let's keep Christian's name alive, but let's give this family a chance to like start to fucking heal,
Yeah.
So with that being said, next week it's gonna be a whole new show, a whole new case. And now that we're on Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm super excited to be coming on Fridays. And I like it a little bit more. It's a little bit more relaxed. It's been a long week.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Next week, we are going to dive into another one. And I'll tell you right now, you and I have already talked about it. We've done some research on this one already. It is another one that has all the twists and turns and what the fucks you could ever want.
So don't forget to go buy your Cocktails and Crime cups, hoodies, blankets, and if you've missed the QR code, you can rewatch this show on YouTube or Facebook and click on it. And if you're looking at Facebook, they're in the comments, so you can click them and go directly to the store.
Also, I would like to say, please hop over to our YouTube, give us a like, follow, all that fun stuff.
Subscribe.
We are on every audio platform where you get all your podcasts. So if watching a live stream really isn't your thing, hop over. You can listen to us talk because we love the sound of our own voice. So we kind of hope you do too. And we're also going to be launching that website soon. So we've got our merch, we've got our website coming, YouTube, Facebook, give us likes, loves, all that fun stuff. And you know what? Thank you to everybody that does listen and does follow us, because without y'all, we really wouldn't be able to sit here and do this. So thank you to each and every one of you. And once again, we will cover the cocktails and the crumbs as long as you come and drink with us.
There you go.
Until next time.
Bye.